these grades. Total points possible, I'm going to do the same formula in cell L23, but I'm this time going to add up the numbers in column H. So in cell L23, type in equals, sum, parentheses, that's shift 9. Click on H2 once and don't let go. Drag down all the way to cell H21. Let go, hit return. Notice it has 170 as your total points. Remember, you can always format by clicking on the column heading and centering, moving the column closer together. You can bold, you can change the color, whatever you want to do there. For your grade, we're going to type in equals. Click once on the top number, your total points received. Type in a backslash. Click on the bottom number, in this case 170. When you hit return, it automatically pops in that decimal, but I'm going to go up here to format, number, and select percent. So my total grade right now in pre-algebra is a 91.76%. Again, the beauty of a spreadsheet is that if I come up here and again, let's say I decide to retake this quiz, if that's an option. I'd retake the quiz and I receive 45 points. When I hit return, several things change. 45 out of 50 got adjusted to 9 out of 10, which is a 90%. And then notice down here, these items also changed. The total points received. The possible points did not change, but my grade, my percentage did. So 92.35% is my current grade. All right, I've saved the most complicated part for last. So make sure that as you're watching this, that you pause the video and you type in exactly what you see and hear. And if you need to re-listen to it, go back, you can do that. But this is the most important part of the spreadsheet because this is where it's going to pop in your letter grade for you. So here we go. I'm going to start in cell J2. And here's what I'm going to do. Type in the equal sign and type in the word if. I do need a parentheses, an open parentheses, so that's shift 9. And what I want to do is if I2, if this number in I2 is equal to a 97%, then, which is notated by a comma, I want the grade to be an A+. So I'm going to do not parentheses, I'm going to do quotation marks and type in an A and a plus, and then close quotation marks. Then a comma, because the next thing I want to do is say that if parentheses I2 is equal to a 93, then, again, then it means comma in this case for programming, I want it to show the letter A because a 93 is an A. I'm going to stop right here and close the parentheses. So notice I have one set of parentheses here and one set here. So I need to end with 2 parentheses. And if I hit return, it says false. And so I've made just one very small error because all it says right here is if I2 equals a 97, then put in an A+. Well, I2 is not a 97, so that's why it's saying false. Although I2 is equal to 93, so it should be displaying the letter A, and it's not. So I'm just going to make a real small adjustment here. I'm going to say 97%. I'm going to come over here and put 93% and hit return. And notice when I hit return, it pops in the letter A, because right here in my program it says if I2 equals 93, then put in the letter A. Now here's the problem with my formula. Let's say I got a 94 out of 100. Well, a 94 out of 100 calculates to a 94%. And notice I'm back to seeing the word false. That's because cell I2, right here, this number right here, cell I2 doesn't say 93 or 97, but we know that a 94% is equal to an A. So what I need to do is just tweak a little thing right here in my programming formula. I want to say if I2 is greater than or equal to 97, it's going to be an A+. If I2 is greater than or equal to a 93, I want it to be an A. If I hit return now, notice that it says I got an A, which is true. I got a 94%, which is an A on the grade scale. Let me just show you how that works. Let's say I received a 99 out of 100. That's a 99%. When I hit return, this letter grade should say A+. And it does, because in my program up here I said that if that number was greater than or equal to 97, give me an A+. If it's greater than or equal to 93, give me an A. And we'll fill in the rest of the program in just a second, but let me just show you now that the numbers that you need to know for the grading scale. So I'm going to finish typing in all of the other letter grades here. We started off by typing in if I2 is a 97 or higher, put an A+. If I2 is greater than or equal to 93, put in an A. I'm going to put my cursor right here before the parentheses and continue typing. So I'm going to type a comma, type in if, parentheses, that's a shift 9, if I2 is greater than or equal to 89, comma, quotation marks, B plus, quotation marks, comma. Again, what I just typed there is that if I2 is an 89 or higher, but less than 93, enter a B plus. Next one, if, parentheses, I2 greater than or equal to 85, comma, quotation marks, B, quotation marks, comma, if, if, parentheses, I2 greater than or equal to 81, comma, quotation marks, C plus, quotation marks, comma, if, parentheses, I2 greater than equal to 77, comma, quotation marks, C, quotation marks, comma, if, parentheses, I2 greater than equal to 73, comma, quotation marks, D plus, quotation marks, comma, if, parentheses, I2 greater than equal to 70, comma, quotation marks, D, quotation marks, comma, quotation marks, F, quotation marks. That last piece just says that if I2 is greater than or equal to 70, give that grade a D. Otherwise, the comma, put in F, which basically says if your grade is below a 70, put a letter F in that column. So the last piece is to count up how many parentheses we need to put at the end, because every single open parentheses needs a closed parentheses. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when I hit return, cross your fingers, everything works out well. But with programming, there's almost always some sort of mistake that you can make, and it's usually a comma, quotation marks. And so if you don't get it right the first time, don't worry about it. Just go back up here and look back through what I have on my screen and make sure you have everything. I know this is asking a lot of you to type in all of this, but it's really fun to program using spreadsheets, and once you're able to get the hang of it, it really can be a powerful tool. So again, I'm going to count this as a project grade, and I know it's going to take you a little time to get this set up, but hang with it and get everything typed in, and if you run into a problem, just ask for help. The good thing about this is that I don't have to type this in again. Remember the shortcut that I told you is that you can click once on cell J2 in this case, click on that little square in the corner and drag all the way down. Notice that it gave you F's all the way down because you don't have any scores. But right here, this concerns me because I know that a 90% is not an F. So I'm going to do some troubleshooting here, and you can listen and watch as I try to figure this out, because that's what programmers do. They run into a problem and they have to figure it out. So right now it's saying that if I3, and we are I3, if I3 is a 90%, it should be popping in a B plus there, and I'm not sure why it isn't. So let's just run through this really quickly and see if we can't figure out why it's not working. I figured it out. Maybe you figured it out before I did, but notice that when I started this, I forgot the percentages, and actually that's what I need to do on every single one. So put a percent here, put a percent after the 85, put a percent after the 81, put a percent after the 77, put a percent after the 73, put a percent after the 70. Let me just check to make sure I have percentages next to all of these. Hit return. Okay, so now I have another problem. It says right here in my error box that I have C as a text and cannot be coerced into a number. All right, let's go back here. 93%. 89%, 85%, 81%, 77%, 70%. Well, that one worked for this one, so I'm going to click and drag that down still has F's because I don't have any numbers there, but this is the one I need to fix. So see if you can spot my error here. Oh, there's a percent that was hidden at the very end of my parentheses. I'm going to hit delete and hit return, and there it is. It's a C. All right, so even people that have done spreadsheets for a long time, like myself, and done some programming, make mistakes. And so if you run into this type of problem, you really just have to go back and look and find where you made the mistake. In this case, I forgot my percentages, and then I also had a random percentage at the end here. So you have to be very careful with every single character that you type in. I'm going to just type in one more score here so that you can see how this all works when it's finally done. Let's go to the Chapter 3 project. And the Chapter 3 project is going to be a summative grade. It's going to be worth 50 points, and let's say you scored 50 out of 50. Well, yes, we know that that's 100%, but again, the spreadsheet's going to do the work for us. A summative grade is worth 80%, so I'm going to type that in. Notice it pops the numbers right in there for me. I did not fill this grade column down, so I'm going to click on cell I4 and click and drag down. Notice it gave me 100%, and it also popped in the A+. All of these errors, again, are because we divided by 0, so I'm just going to delete those out of the way. But notice over here that the total points received already got recalculated, the total points possible, and now my grade is a 95.62. So I know this video got very long, but hopefully it walked you through step by step on how to set up your grade record sheet. If you run into any problems, please don't hesitate to ask. Always pause the video, rewind, keep on trying and see if you can figure it out. And when you're finished, I will give you your first grade in your spreadsheet that you can enter and calculate for this project. Thanks for watching.